wanna see me spaz out? It's two sides of me, and that's nice and bad route. So talk that shit about your mouth. I have my niggas on the block, air you out like window. What the fuck you know about me, nigga? The in the window is when I'm riding through with the window down in the winter. When I come through a proper sentence like I'm a senator. Under Kid Cudi, the Terminator, the Predator. Aim for the bitch niggas that they be talking down. They don't know come around. They come around, I'm looking at these niggas with the tilted brim. Who be him? The Chief Wahoo Low, Cudi. Oh, oh.
Scott Ramon Seguro Mescudi, born January 30th, 1984. Where do I even begin with an artist like Kid Cudi? For one, he was once a top 5 favorite artist for me, as his music is easily connectable to the popular human emotions. When I say that, I don't mean the feeling of happiness you get when you just bought that new car off the showroom floor, or those $1,000 jeans in the wrong color, now you have to go back and get another one, or $5K Birkin bag. No. Those feelings are meant for the minority few that will become successful enough to have those problems. I mean feelings we've all related to since the beginning of time or before the money and success. Sadness, anger, loneliness, outcast, misfit, unappreciated, undervalued. That's what Man in the Moon 1 and even 2 was that made them successful. That's who Kid Cudi was in 2009, as a person still engulfed in those feelings happening inside his world. It's usually those times when an artist is at his saddest and most depressed or high that they make their best music. Eventually, life changed for the better for Cudi, becoming more accessible, and unexpectedly, he and the music changed. I would say the majority of people lean toward the negative reaction to difficult or emotional times, and most enjoy throwing their own pity parties. So music that keys into those moments where you just want to drink and vent your problems or party your stress away usually is the exact setting for Kid Cudi's music and why he became successful. But over time and the freedom to do as he pleases in life and music, Kid Cudi as an artist has lost a lot of his fan base that crave for the connection he produced. In 2022, Kid Cudi is only in the news for controversies like showing up to events in full wedding dresses in the arms of another male, or spats with Mr. Controversy himself, Kanye West. While all publicity is supposedly good publicity, some publicities don't help you sell records or grow your audience. Mostly because of the turnoff or overwhelming coverage of you that some won't agree with. Whatever the case, one thing for sure is that Kid Cudi was different and had a different lane. He was supposed to have ended up a better artist in my opinion, but for these reasons, his growth was stunning. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it. Kid Cudi is from Cleveland, Ohio, born to a painter and war veteran father and choir teaching mother that instilled work ethic and art into young Scott, which led him to playing around with music. His childhood was the typical find yourself journey, but with Cudi, he'd usually be knocked off that path because of his anger issues and lack of knowledge how to channel them. This led to fights in the schoolyard over things like the way he dressed, his strange personality, and the fact he just didn't fit into the popular circles. He was eventually expelled from high school for threats to the principal and would have to settle for earning his GED later. He moved to New York to pursue music, and it was the best thing that could happen. He'd run into Kanye West a few times while working in New York, but wasn't until Cudi dropped Day and Night on MySpace that Kanye decided to sign him in 2007, and the rest was to the moon. Stunt number 1, Issues Nobody Can See. On the song Soundtrack to My Life off his first album Man on the Moon, Cudi raps that he has issues within himself that no one can see or understands. Issues of paranoia, trust, and lack of direction since his father died back when he was just 11 years old. He copes with these issues by drowning himself in alcohol, mushrooms, and marijuana in hopes he can escape those inside walls and just live to see at least 30. I think the way Cudi recites these emotions, along with his spacey Travelers type beats, makes you enjoy the song more than realizing a person is in need of help. In 2008, he released his debut mixtape, A Kid Named Cudi, and began to blow up faster than expected. Kanye dropped his album that year and asked Cudi to be involved in the project as a writer and vocalist, marking the beginning of what would become of their relationship, as many fans credit Cudi for changing Kanye's sound, helping him transition into what we see today musically. He was included in the 2009 XXL freshman class alongside Currency and Wale, and also made the Blueprint 3 album by Jay-Z on a song called Already Home. He released his first album, Man on the Moon, the end of day, September 15, 2009, and sold 104,000 first week and peaked at number 4 on Billboard. The album would eventually go double platinum, as many fans hold it as a classic album for Cudi, his first, and remains to be his best seller to date. His second classic was the follow-up in 2010, Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager, that also went platinum. But as success grew for Cudi, so did his drug abuse, and music didn't fill the voids of losing his father and still not being fully accepted, even though famous and popular. So weed, shrooms, and even cocaine it was, and he actually made his best music in these states. But quitting and leaving them alone presented a new challenge, because then the music changed and fans didn't change with it. It led to more stress and dealing with inner demons that got in the way of his creating. Stunt number 2, artists began to take his wave. One of the more drastic cases of having your wave hijacked was in the case of Kid Cudi. When he came into the game in the late 2000s, Cudi was a new thing. He was singing, but not like hitting vocals, more like drowning in alcohol but having a great time doing it. Or like singing into the back of a fan and how fun that feels. So much so that you begin experimenting with pitch and lengthening words. That was Cudi. Like anything new or different, everyone began to jack that style. Artists like, of course, Kanye West, who jacked Cudi's style since the day he signed him. To this day, he kidnaps Cudi to write and inspire projects for him, as I can tell Cudi is the idea guy, Kanye is more of an executor. I've always heard the Cudi influence in Kanye's later work, and it's sad an artist with a style like Cudi can't keep it to himself. Travis Scott, Chance the Rapper, Juice WRLD, Kendrick, Tyler, Drake from time to time, and the list goes on. It's safe to say, as far as a non-singer using melody in hip-hop, Cudi may have changed the game. But that's the thing, the first to do it isn't always credited. The one that did it the best is. Because Cudi isn't the most in the news, in your face with his music person, it was easy for those who are to steal his sound and arguably do it better. Except the hums. Cudi got the hums on lock, dogs. Stunt number 3, recreating himself, maybe too much. I'm not sure if people taking his style made Cudi want to recreate himself after his second album, but when he did, it was a huge miss for his career. The first time was the 2013 Indicud. To me, Indicud was Cudi's Yeezus, the album of freedom and experiments. Only thing is, that album came out at the wrong time. It also came out after a 3-year hiatus by Cudi, and in that time, fans longed for the Cudi they once knew. Instead, he came back somewhat a different artist, and it shocked his fans who didn't know how to react other than to say he fell off. I liked Indicud. In fact, it may have been the last Kid Cudi I liked, before the joint Cudi-Kanye cut Kids See Ghosts. The recreation didn't stop there. Cudi became sober around 2013 also, which led to different sounds in his music, searching for the new representation of him. He continued experimenting on albums, and his fans continued to run away from the new alternative pop rock sounds, but hypocritical tones of struggle and strife. Important to note, he did leave good music after his Indica album that went gold, by the way, and started his own label. Could be another possible stunt in his growth, as after then his music was just different. Most recently, he's also recreated his style. Whether he's actually gay or likes appearing that way is up to him, but I think more fans left his side who don't agree with the loud cry for attention, it seems, even if you were in fact swinging a different way. All the recreations of Kid Cudi made him unrecognizable, possibly forever. All in all, Cudi and the Man on the Moon thing fit perfectly because it's exactly what his actions are like. Someone visiting Earth and not really attached to the earthly things. He's still a great artist, although I may not agree with his actions. Do I think his career has more room to grow? Honestly, no. I think Cudi peaked and now is free to do as he pleases. With that said, I don't think he'll do something that makes his music hot again. Salute to Kid Cudi, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunning. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.